It is August 2016 and we are traveling back to Kenya from the US. We got to the airport in very good time, but when we got to the security check, the officers got really interested in my bag. My bag, as usual, had a lot of electronics and was selected for extra scrutiny. That extra scrutiny resulted in us missing our first and all subsequent flights. We ended up spending a night and most of the next day at the airport, and quite a bit of time trying to call a friend and our travel agent to get our flights rescheduled and rebooked. Well, a few days after arriving back in Nairobi, I saw a Facebook post by Pastor Pete Odera that helped me put things into perspective. I will just read it as he wrote it. It was raining and I was late trying to catch the flight to London from Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. that late summer. I finally made it through check-in and stumbled to my seat on that British Airways flight, and lo and behold, an empty row. I had the row all to myself, just as I would have loved it. Some me time where I could stretch myself out like the first-class passengers, but on a coach fare. But alas, this was not to be. The flight was redirected to Philadelphia and we were badly delayed. As I was sitting there zoning out, in came the flight attendant and she directed this visibly flustered lady to the seat next to mine. The lady said her name was Pat and we got talking, and she told me about herself. She had just had a series of traumatic events that had put her life in a tailspin. As a matter of fact, she was on that flight on her way to deal with an unfolding situation. I can't for the life of me remember what I said to her, but I do remember there were tears in her eyes. I think I prayed with her briefly and forgot about it completely. One day, 12 years later, I was preparing to go to Philadelphia when I got a friend request and a strange message asking if I was that young African musician who used to travel to the US in the late 90s or something. This person said they had written a book about their experiences and remembered how a young African singer had spoken kindly to them on a flight to London many years ago. It was this same lady. We finally met in Philadelphia. What a great experience it was for me. A little series of inconveniences for me, but an entire chapter's worth in somebody else's book. Sometimes, just embrace those inconveniences. It may mean the world to someone else, or at the very least, put a smile on someone's face.